What's for dinner? That's the question in my house every single day. Sometimes at breakfast, sometimes at lunch, but usually right around 3 o'clock. What are we having for dinner? Oh my gosh, inevitably we'll order takeout. It's easier, but oh my gosh, it's never satisfying. I feel gross about it. And I spend way too much money. So if you would rather enjoy a home-cooked meal without all that stress of planning ahead, Home Chef makes it really, really easy. You know, I love my meal kits, and being able to have a delicious meal without all that long prep is what drew me to Home Chef over the other guys. Their meals are effortless, even for somebody like me who's not going to go on a competitive cooking show anytime soon. Whether you prefer the classic meal kits, I do. That's what I prefer. They have pre-portioned ingredients, easy instructions, the speedy recipes, sometimes ready in less than 30 minutes. They have oven-ready kits with the pre-chopped ingredients, or you can get these quick microwave meals that assemble in minutes. Home Chef has you and the entire family covered for delicious meals without the hassle. They have over 30 options a week that serves a variety of dietary needs. So you don't have to worry about what to make ahead of time, or this one likes this or this one doesn't like that. Not only is it convenient, but it's economical too. Home Chef customers save an average of $86 a month on groceries. They even have a delicious kid-friendly family menu with 18 new options each week. It's picky eater approved and takes that stress at a dinner time. So for a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 18 free meals plus free dessert for life. Yes. And of course, free shipping on your first box. You're going to go to homechef.com/pinkshade. homechef.com/pinkshade for 18 free meals and free dessert for life. You heard it right. homechef.com/pinkshade. You have to be an active subscriber to receive the free dessert. Do it and let me know what you ordered. Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mugshot Monday. It's Life After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 45. I'm here with Keisha.
Hi.
And we're just laughing because we're just chatting beforehand, and we find ourselves very funny.
We really fucking do. We totally hype each other up. Like, I feel like she's a comedian. I think she thinks I'm funny.
Yes.
And we just laugh and cackle at the stupid shit that we say.
We're just laughing at ourselves is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, Keisha, before we get started, for those of you who are listening over on Prime for our Love is Blind recaps, thank God that boring season is over. And the reunion really didn't give us any answers. We have a lot of notes.
Nothing.
We have a lot of notes about how to do a reunion next time. For those of you who have sent us hundreds of DMs telling us what a grenade is.
Okay? Oh my God.
Okay, so guys, I mean, I'm old. Keisha's only kind of old, but we have figured out it's from the Jersey Shore. It's when you fall on a grenade. It's supposed to mean the unattractive girl at the bar that you have to like talk to so that your friend can get with her friend. To me, I call that being a wingman. I don't know why we call it a grenade.
I don't get it. It didn't make sense to me at all. I honestly thought it had something to do with size, but I don't get it. I just don't. And together we both are just too fucking old
to understand
like this. Yeah. I don't know.
Because I was like, so if Nick had to fall on the grenade to save his buddy,
who was he saving?
Who was he saving? Leo? Like he had to let Leo get with the hot girl because anyway, guys, we know that's what it means, but we don't understand it.
No. And you know what? I'm okay with not understanding it.
Me too, because it's not nice. It's not nice.
No. Yeah, and I even said that. And you guys know I love Nikki D. I was like, that's not very nice, Nikki D.
No. And we're not like out here Team Hannah or either, but we're
no.
But that's not nice. That's not nice. And whatever. So now that we know what it means, I wish I would have known that during the reunion because I was like, who cares if he said she looked like a grenade? What does that mean? So now looking back on our recap, I'm like, oh, we're dumb. And it'll probably be months to come that people will just be watching Love is Blind and then we'll still continue to DM and be like, did you guys hear? That's what a grenade. We know it's from the Jersey Shore. I didn't watch that show. I didn't know. Did you
I
watch it?
couldn't either. Nope.
Mm-mm.
I know who all the people are. I know about them, but I've never watched a single episode of Jersey Shore.
Same with me, and same with me with Sister Wives. I know every single thing about these people,
Yes.
like the Kardashians. I know every single thing, but I never really Kardashians. I've probably watched an episode here or there.
I
But
used to watch it long
Sister
time ago.
Wives, no, never watched an episode. And Jersey Shore, never watched it.
Yeah, like Sister Wives was on when I was doing my makeup, and it was like an old episode. I'm like, I know all these things, but I've never ever sat down and just watched an episode. But you can ask me any question, I can answer it because I know all about them.
I know, isn't that weird?
No.
It's weird. When I was on a girls trip this weekend, and if you're watching on video, you can see my cute sweater. It says
so
girls
cute.
trip.
So cute.
I got those as my little gifts for everybody. And we had so much fun, but we got into one of those conversations about shows that you should watch, but you just never have watched it. And now it's either too late or you've got too many other things to watch. And if you have time to catch up on something, it's not going to be that, and I feel that way about The Wire. Everybody's like, you should have watched The Wire. I was like, it's too late and I'm never going to do it. So quit telling me.
That has been on my list of people telling me too. Like, I can't believe you haven't watched The Wire. And also Oz.
Never watched it.
People are like, you would love it, Keisha. This is great. This is great. This is great. And like, you feel like it's just too late. Like,
and I know I would love it, but I've got too many other things and there's too many new things.
I agree. And last night I actually sat down and watched a show just to watch it because my friend said how great it was. My mom says how great it was and how Tyler Perry has a new series out on Netflix. Okay. So sometimes it's nice just to sit down and watch a show just to watch it.
Yes.
And not worry about, I got to talk about this, or even like with our social media content, like we mentioned different things that happen on shows. So sometimes it's nice to just sit back and watch a fucking show.
That's what Dave and I are doing with the show Slow Horses on Apple TV, Apple Plus, Apple's streaming service. And somebody says like, I can't believe you didn't watch it. And they're like, I'm jealous that you're actually going to get to watch it. But it's like a current thing. So there's 4 seasons and the 5th one will come out soon. And the 4th one just ended. They put it out really fast, but it's about the MI5, which is like the CIA in England, right? The MI5. And if they have people that are like rejects, they're call them slow horses. And so they have to go so if they've done something bad and they get demoted and they have to go to slow horses and then like you never get out. So you're an MI5 agent, but you're like laughed at by the other agents. And it's Gary Oldman is the head of it. And then Kristen Scott Thomas is in it. Okay. And then she plays like the second head of the MI5. And then the guy that's in it, who River Cartwright is his name on the show. I don't know who he is, but he is so cute.
Oh, really?
And he's this like one of the agents, and he's the main star. He's so cute. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like Niles from One Direction.
Okay.
Cute like that. That's who he kind of reminds me of. And I'm always like, is he like a young Russell Crowe? Like, who does he remind me of? The show's really good. And Dave and
I can see who he is.
So. Yeah. And Dave and I have now 1 episode left of season 4. We watched it all at the beach. And it was the same thing. Like I had to fully pay attention to it because it's like a Succession or Sopranos or something where there's characters and it's dark and it's serious. I mean, it's some funny parts to it, but you have to really pay attention. And we now have 1 episode left to season 4, which is the last one. And then we have to wait for the new season. Like we did the whole thing.
Well, I will say this. If any of our listeners watched Grotesquerie, DM me. It is a Ryan Murphy show. I love pretty much anything that Ryan Murphy puts out.
Okay. All right.
I'm a big fan. So if anyone watched Grotesquerie, DM me because I need someone who's not on Reddit, someone who is in real life to discuss this with, because I know no one else who watched it. And I just
I've never even heard of it.
Girl, if FX is pretty much Ryan Murphy's channel network. Anything this stars Niecy Nash. This guy, I can't remember his name, but he plays one of the Menendez brothers, who's the Menendez. Ryan Murphy also did that. It is insane. And the ending was like almost a nothing burger. And it leaves you with so many more questions. And now we're gonna have to wait, who knows for like how long for season 2. but I like have questions, and I just want to just have a good friendly discussion about it. It's like, did you see this? What did you think about that? But like, no one I know watched it, and it's so good.
I've never even heard of it. But we were talking
Ryan
about
Murphy can hardly fuck up. He is just
I think that's right.
Brilliant. And I'm also watching. He's doing American sports star Aaron Hernandez.
Right, I heard about that too. Yeah, I bet that's good. I bet that's good.
It's very, very good. So yeah, hit me up about Grotesquerie. It's good.
Grotesquerie is just a terrible name of a show.
Yes, it is. It's dark, just like Ryan Murphy. There's lots of murder. There's sex. All that
and grotesque things, I imagine.
Girl.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm not going to.
Yeah,
No. You'll be scared.
I will be scared. That's true.
I know you would be.
All right, let's talk about these people. And the time is changing. So if you're watching on video, as we progress through this episode, it's going to get darker and darker. I've turned a lot of lights on, so hopefully you won't notice. But the time changed. So in less than an hour, it's going to be pitch black dark here, which is nuts. It's not. I'm used to it getting dark like at 8, and now it's going to be dark like at 5:30. And
yeah, I still got good sunlight so far.
It's kind of like you get into cozy season and all that. Yes. But also when you have dogs, you're like, well, damn, I got to go walk these dogs at 4:00 instead of like 6, you know? Yeah.
I forget y'all have to walk dogs. We just put ours in the backyard.
Yeah, not the case here. So Dave's going to walk the dog. So you will hear the ding, ding, ding of the, alarm and the opening and closing and all that. And, it's what it is. I can't help it. I'm doing in my basement. The house is still torn up on the top floor. So there you have it. All right. Life After Lockup, season 5, episode 45, 15. We don't know. It's called Without Trust, You Have Nothing. Okay.
Right.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Let's start with Danielle and Bianca. I mean, she still hadn't washed her hair.
Girl, what? And it seems like it's thinning with every episode. It looks a little bit thinner and stringier.
She didn't blunt cut it on the ends. The ends are just like pointy. Like she hasn't had a trim in a year. Girl.
I don't get it. With the money that she says that she has, she should just go to a nice salon, get a makeover. I think I mentioned that. Maybe get some hair extensions just for like filming purposes. Mm-hmm. But I think she thinks she looks great.
She could go to a haircut. She could go to a haircuttery and spend $18 and get that hair washed and trimmed. It doesn't even have to be expensive,
So, I don't know about white girl hair. Okay. But what do you do when you have just naturally oily hair?
Well, you wash your hair in the morning or you wash your hair in the evening so that for a full 24 hours, like my hair is not oily, but it can get greasy. Like I do have to wash it every day. But this morning I just like wash my bangs and I'll do the full hair wash tonight and then I'll be good to go for the next day. A lot of people like to do it in the morning, whatever. You do have to wash your hair every day. And it's not a bad thing to do.
Do you think she doesn't wash it every day? Or does she just have that really, really just naturally greasy hair?
She has not washed that hair in 3 days. She has the kind of hair like mine that she has a lot of hair, but it's thin. She has obviously oily skin. She has to wash her hair every single day. Don't come at me and say that do not come at me and say people shouldn't do that. My friend Mary hadn't washed her hair in 4 days on this trip. Ingrid hadn't washed her hair in 4 days. But Sarah and I, my other friend, we're the wash her hair every day people because we have just different kind of hair. Okay. So when your hair is thin and not like thick, if your hair is thick, you can Anna can get away with going like 4 or 5 days without washing her hair because it's thick and it doesn't need it. But our hair doctor, Lindsay, that's our hair expert, that's our bunky expert. She agrees with me. Certain kind of hair you do have to wash every day, and it's really not great for your hair to let a lot of oil build up on your scalp and be dirty for 2 weeks, which it appears like Bianca has just decided.
She just gave up on it.
She gave up. And I don't even know. I'm concerned she's also not showering her body is my concern.
She doesn't look very clean. Daniel looks clean.
He does. He's taken 6 showers. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So, he walks into the apartment. This is after he's been with Robert. He walks into the apartment and he goes, and this obviously is so staged because she's standing in the kitchen. She's like, hey, babe. And he goes, will you get me a water? And she goes, no, because that's what you did to me.
I'm so over it. Like this episode needs to be the last episode that they talk about the coffee anything liquid that one needs to do for the other. Just stop it. Everyone is adult, has working arms and legs. Go get your own shit.
Yeah.
We're over it. We're done.
We're done talking about beverages.
Yes, we are.
He's like, I was with Robert. Robert told me about everything what happened at the bar. And she goes, what did he say? I mean, I was there. And he goes, why don't you tell me your version? And he says, did you tell Robert you had a problem with alcohol? And she goes, I don't know. And he goes, well, Robert said you have a problem with alcohol. And they show the clip. And she goes, I don't know. He was drunk.
Bitch, you were drunk. You don't remember what happened. That's why you're having to ask him what Robert said, because you drank that memory away.
And it is interesting too, Keisha, because this is why we always used to have a reunion for these shows. We have follow-up questions.
I do not understand why Matt Sharp. Do you know how many people would tune into a reunion?
Yeah. We need to know.
Ton.
I know.
Yeah, we should host it.
Of course. Who else? So then he says, why did you tell him that we have no foreplay? And she goes, I need more intimacy. They have had sex one night. One night they had sex a few times. So now they're talking about there's no foreplay. There's no intimacy. They had that sex that one night. The second night he slept on the couch. And now we're on day 3.
Oh, I just find it so odd that she felt so comfortable with Robert to bring up issues with her sex. That is like Dave coming to me and saying, Keisha, I know you're Mary Payne's cousin on her black side, but I want to tell you, she's not throwing it back like I want her to. That's weird.
It's very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, I don't understand. And now we know Robert is married. So that makes it even weirder.
I could not believe when we heard that he was married.
Yeah. Me either.
So he goes, listen, I was around dudes for 5 years. And, maybe I was just like aggressive with you from the pinup frustration. I don't know. And she goes, I think this is her talking head. She goes, I think our intimacy is like a huge deal. And I'm really struggling with it. It's been one night. And she goes, I mean, I definitely like dominant men and like to be told what to do.
Well, huh?
What?
She doesn't know herself at all.
No, she says everything opposite.
Yes, she does.
Says, I don't think he knows where the C word is. I'm not going to say it. And you're not going to say it either.
I'm not going to, but I could not believe he does know where it is. This guy hasn't fucked in years. Of course, I would expect for a couple of days, it's going to be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Like, he gets it out of his system and then he can think clearly. Yes. I think so. Yeah. I agree.
Enjoy the ride. I mean.
And he goes, do you think you're codependent on me? And he goes, because even when I was in prison, like you always wanted to be on the tablet. And if I was gone for too long, you want to know where I was. And you were checking these Facebook groups to see if I wasn't with other women. And he goes, so that's what the coffee thing reminded me of. Like, you're just like, I have to do everything you say.
Right.
And he goes, the act of you asking me to do every single thing for you is a red flag. And she goes, no, that's just how it is in a relationship. And he goes, no. And that's when he goes, even, hold on 1 second. Sorry. I knew that was us when I was waiting for the ding on the door. And he goes, yeah, I mean, even Robert didn't agree with that. And he's married. What? I'm waiting to use that, Keisha.
That's perfect.
Thank you. And Robert is married. And she's like, I know. And she goes, I just need you to do nice things for me. And he goes, well, over time, I think my actions will show you what you need. And I'll see over time if you mean what you say. I was like, what's this? Are we threatening each other? What's happening?
They kind of do. It's just like tick for tat. I don't, there's no good balance of anything. Like, they really need to have a third party, not Robert, in there to help them like get figured out. Because their communication is weird.
Yes.
But then again, she's so freaking young.
So immature. It's so young. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, but I just don't like her as a person. I think she's pretty fucking horrible. But she is young.
Yeah.
I'll give her that.
So the next morning, they seem very giggly and happy. So they must have had something good happen there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he made her coffee. And then she's like,
which he never needs to do again. Did you see how he spilled it all over the floor?
No, I was half looking because Keisha, I had to watch it on my phone because like the screener
Oh,
wouldn't work and then I had to buy it for $2. It was a whole thing.
what?
I know. And then so I was watching it on my phone and I was taking notes on my iPad. So no, I mean, I was like barely looking back and forth, just trying to, yeah.
No wonder he didn't want to fix her a cup of coffee because he doesn't know how to pour coffee. Like he was pouring it and there was a puddle this big on the floor of coffee. I'm like,
It's not that hard.
They just need to invest in a Keurig because he doesn't need
Yeah.
to be pouring coffee. Yeah.
So she's like, let's look through your box where all the photos and letters are that I sent you. And he tells her, like, the photos and letters that you sent really did help me when I was in prison. We see a bunch of her like duck face selfies and filters in her ass and all that.
Lots of filters.
She's trying to find other stuff in that box, I think.
I think so too.
She's like, oh,
you know what? That's what I would be doing too.
Yeah, but I would do it when he wasn't in the house.
That's true, but she's stupid, remember? She's not as smart as us. We're seasoned.
That's right. That's right. So in the Talking Ed, he says, last night we talked about things that were concerning, and today it's looking up. And I know a proposal will help with our relationship, and I don't agree with it, but it would make her happy. What are you doing?
That is not why people get proposed. Like, what is wrong with the two? You know what? I'm starting to think they're perfectly made for one another.
Yeah. And he's going to bring the ring and he like pretends he forgets his phone and goes back in. He's going to bring the ring just in case the moment happens. I was like, oh, we're going to do it today. Day 4. So they go on a walk and he's like, it's wild. Like, I'm not used to all these trees. And he says, it's a lot. Like, it's unnatural. Like all this space. And she's like, hold my hand. And we just like walk and hold my hand. And then they're holding hands. And I guess he's kind of pulling. And she's like, hold my hand. I don't like the way you're pulling away from me. And he's starting to panic a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't really like this openness, like I've told you, like the openness is weird for me. So you're gonna have to cut me some slack. And she goes, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to fucking argue with you. And he goes, what? And she goes, I'm sorry, I just don't understand. But anyway, just give me a hug. And he goes, no, like you're cussing at me and they're trying to come in for a hug. Like, no. And also, I really think it's very hard for us to imagine being in a small place like that. And you can only see the sky like twice a day through a thing when you're outside with a bunch of people. And then to have all that space.
It's overwhelming. I think it's overwhelming. It really is.
Some of these people, like you think about Tinny and Rob was in for so much longer.
Yeah.
And you think that would be
it's a lot for them, I mean, it goes back to like sometimes when they go to the restaurant for the first time and they're just completely overwhelmed and they're like, never mind, just give me the chicken nuggets from the kids menu. Like they don't even know how to process a menu. It's a lot for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been told what to do every hour on the hour. You know what I mean? And I felt really bad for Daniel. I did
too.
And he had the worst person by his side to be comforting.
Because he was explaining it. It wasn't, he wasn't just having like a response and not explaining what it was. He was like, it's the openness, it's the trees, this is hard. And he's explaining it. But she's just like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I don't fucking understand. Oh my God. Where's the bar? So, she says
a shot would help.
A shot would help. She says, I just don't understand why this is so upsetting. Why is it so hard just to take a walk? Like, and now he's actually mad at me and I don't even know what I did.
And that's all she cares about is the fact that he might be mad at her. He's freaking the fuck out.
All I care about is her hair. I just like, I can't quit. Girl. I can't quit. I'm like, you have an apartment with a shower in it. Okay. So, so she's crying, to the production. She's talking. And she was like, it's like we can't even do normal things like take a walk. And like we talked about this before he left prison, like how the open sky would be weird for him. But like, we're not going to have a normal relationship. It's like, it's really upsetting. Upsetting to you.
He already told you. Mm-hmm. He reminded you again as y'all were walking and you could see him crumbling.
Yeah.
And you just don't get it. And now you can't have a normal relationship. Well, bitch, no, not when he's been out of prison 3 days. No, you're right. That's not going to be normal.
So she's all upset. And so he tells the production, he was like, I was in a box for almost 5 years. And it's hard to explain the open sky and the vastness. I'm not used to it. It's a lot. Yeah. I just wanted to take a walk and talk about the future, but I spoiled it, whatever. I mean, no, I don't think you did, but
I don't think you spoiled it. She makes him feel like he did, but he didn't.
He was verbalizing what the problem was,
He's very well at communicating, far better than her.
Well, that's why I think he's been in a lot of AA
Therapy.
talk and therapy and stuff. So, so she finds him sitting on the stoop and she's like, "What happened?" And he says, I've told you this is going to be hard for me and it's going to be a lot. And then you were just like pulling me and started cussing at me. And I'm just freaking out. This is a lot. And maybe it's hard for you to understand. This is like some real shit. And you don't know that it's happening until you're staring down the barrel of it.
Right. Yeah.
And so again, he's really explaining it. And she says, "I'm sorry that I upset you." And he goes, "It's not just you." And he goes, "I just want to go home. I just want to go back to the apartment. I'm very overwhelmed." And he says, "I wish this wasn't an issue, but it is." And so she understands. She seems to understand.
Finally.
So I'm talking to Ed. He says, "Of course you're not go for a walk. I didn't know that was going to happen. I've got a lot to sort out. And before I propose, I have a lot of work I need to do." And it just reminds me so much of Arthur and that reaction he had where he totally went out of his mind because of the vastness of the world. And I don't know, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So in the talking head, she's like, "I'm realizing that his PTSD is worse than I imagined. And I guess we're not going to be able to do normal couple things. We can't take a walk. It flipped a switch in my brain about him that this is really not going to be as easy as I thought." He's been telling you, I think. I feel like he's been telling her.
Yeah. And she didn't listen because she's so worried about him making her a fucking cup of coffee because that's the most important thing in a relationship.
And then she's going to be mad about that puddle on the floor.
Yep. It was a big puddle too.
Now, Key Rock and Brittany in Alexandria, not Richmond. I was talking to my girls this weekend about this, and I was talking about Christopher's Flowers and the bridal shop, whatever. You know who is friends with the owner of Christopher's Flowers?
Ingrid.
Because
look, I'm telling y'all, have you ever seen Ingrid and Wonder Woman in the same room? You haven't, because Ingrid is Wonder Woman. I'm telling you, this woman is, for you guys, I wish the listeners knew her. She is the most, we had a whole conversation before the show. She's the most fascinating creature that I've ever witnessed. I just want to follow her around. I want to smell her closet. I know it just smells so good. I just want to be in her presence. I just want to be teach me, mold me. How did you become so fucking amazing? I might be a little bit in love with Ingrid and I haven't admitted it to myself. Of course she's friends with them. She's probably a part owner of that flower shop. I wouldn't be surprised.
We were having this whole conversation about where it's located and Mary and Sarah, because Sarah and Ingrid and I all used to live in that area. Sarah and I lived really close to each other. And so we're having this when our kids were little, and we're having this whole conversation about it. And I go, "Yeah, it's crazy," because I went on and I saw that I have 18 friends in common with this person because I was trying to figure it out. And Ingrid goes, "Was one of them me?" And I was like, "No, it was," and I named some other people that Mary is friends with from high school and stuff. I go, "It's those people, that group." And she goes, "Well, if you would have scrolled down, you would have seen one of them's me. I totally know her." And I was like, "Can I get her on the podcast?"
No shit.
She goes, "Yeah, I'll call her." I was like, "Okay, great."
Of course. Okay. You know what? Everyone needs an Ingrid in their life.
They really said, we were on our girls trip and she was painting a painting in her room, while I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a shower." And she was like, "I'm just going to take my New York Times crosswords and sit in the lobby." I was like, "Okay, great. I'll be taking a nap." Yeah.
She is really, really, I want to meet her parents.
They're great.
How did you raise this wonderful, I'm just going to stop. I'm fangirling on Ingrid again, as I quite often do. So yes. And she ain't going to even hear this shit.
I don't know. Now she's doing a transcript thing when she does the editing. She's doing a transcript thing. So I wonder now if she'll flag her name and she'll see it. The transcript.
She's like, "I better watch out for that Keisha. She looks like she's got some stalker vibes going on here."
No, she loves you. She thinks you're so funny. Okay. So she gets off the phone with her PO. She's still in the bridal shop. She gets off the phone with her PO, who says, if you guys just kind of all of a sudden get married, so that the Texas thing, it does look like fraud. It looks like fraud. And Brittany goes, "But how could they tell me it's fraud that we've been engaged for a long time, we've been together, and that we're going to get married? And how are they not going to tell us we can't live together if we're married? Because what we're doing is not illegal. We were going to get married anyway." And she goes, I think him going to go ahead and get into Texas and us being married is the only way it's going to work. It's the only solution to help the situation. But, I think I'm not going to tell Rock what the PO said.
I mean, that should be the person that you talk to immediately after you spoke to the parole
the
officer.
PO thinks this is going to look like fraud and we shouldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it does look suspicious, but on the flip side, they are engaged.
They've been together for a long time. It's not like it's not one
Yeah.
of these 2-week couples that we see sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not, Shayla's like, well, you should tell Rock. And she's like, yeah, nah. So she buys the dress, and I guess it was in her $600 budget. It looks great on her.
Yes,
It really does. No matter when she wears it, it looks good on her. But now they are over at Coffee's, and Coffee, they're getting ready. Brittany's getting ready, and then Shayla comes over, but Brittany's crying because she just doesn't feel like this is not the way she wants to get married. This is not the vision that she had. And I don't know if she just probably really in her mind thinks, well, we're never going to redo it. We're never actually going to have our dream wedding.
I could believe that. I understand that, but you got to do what you got to do. Go have a fantastic honeymoon.
If they just need to get married, they don't even need to do this $600 dress, all that. They don't even need to do any of that. They could just go to the Justice of the Peace and do it.
Because they keep saying it's an elopement, but no, it's actually turned into a small ceremony.
Yeah.
You got people there, and you've got a location, you've got a wedding dress on and everything. So I don't know, but whatever she's smoking, she needs to stop smoking because she just kept looking more and more and more depressed.
Very sad. And they were at a public park that I know exactly where it is because Anna school used to go there for like their field trips on Wednesdays. Sometimes she's like, I got to go down to the whatever park, whatever it's called. I knew exactly where it was.
All the cool stuff happens up there. I'm moving up there with you guys.
No, I don't think so. It's not true. So, some things are happening tomorrow, guys, which is election day. Everybody vote. That's a cool thing. Not just here, everywhere.
Everywhere. Rock the vote.
Rock the vote. So, especially you ladies, it's important. Okay. So she's making her story. So she's back to this. This is not how she wants to get married, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and my PO has said that this might not even work. The stress is really getting to me. And we just see a loop around of the apartment. Coffee. You got pull that shit together. Coffee. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot.
Every surface is covered.
You kind of gotta. It's hard because you want it all. I get that.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point. It looks pretty fucking trashy.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. It was something.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, anyway, Rock has gone out to the golf club spot with Coffee, and they've met with the officiant and all that, and they're going to get ready to do the thing. Now, it's interesting because I'm looking at my notes. Again, guys, I wrote these on my iPad. They transferred over to my computer because I didn't want to take my computer with me on the trip. And I feel like I had a whole section about Rock meeting with Al, the pastor, but it's not on here.
It was really nothing.
It was really nothing. It was just like, hey, this is the pastor,
Yeah.
Y'all, it's November. It's cozy weather. It's getting darker earlier, and I have a lot to be thankful for. You know what I'm really thankful for? I found a new product this year. It's Lumi. Where has Lumi been all my life? How did I live without it before I knew about it? And why am I so thankful for it? Because Lumi is a deodorant like no other. It was created by a female OBGYN who discovered BO isn't just an underarm thing, it's an all-over thing. So she developed a pH-optimized deodorant that's clinically proven to block odor everywhere, not just your pits, but your privates, your feet, and beyond. And the best part, no matter where you use it, Lumi is proven to keep working for up to 72 hours. If this amazing female doctor in 3 days of odor control isn't something to be thankful for, I don't know what is. And right now there's a special offer. New customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. Use code PINKSHADE at LumiDeodorant.com. That's LumiDeodorant.com. Lumi has formulated a new product to keep you smelling fresh and help you stay drier. It's Lumi's whole body deodorant plus sweat control. The same 72-hour odor control now with 72-hour sweat control. You guys, I've tried this. It's great. You can experience the same outrageously effective 72-hour odor control while keeping sweat under control. It's baking soda free, paraben free, and pH balanced for safe use below the belt. You can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like tangerine, lavender, or my favorite is toasted coconut. You guys, I love anything with coconut. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream 2 deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. So I recommend the Starter Pack. And as a special gift for our listeners, new customers also will get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code Pink Shade. And if you combine the 15% off code with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code PINKSHADE for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's LumiDeodorant.com. And show your support when they ask where you found it and say, Pink Shade sent me. Thanks. Joey and Kimberly. They're going on a date night. When I go on a date night, I don't order mozzarella sticks and pickle fries.
Neither do I.
That's just me. Seems like you want to go somewhere where you get a little more elevated of a meal.
I'm like, I'm going to dress cute. You're going to feed me well. And I'm going to order an appetizer and a fucking dessert. And I might want ice cream on the way home. Yep. But that's just how we do.
Mozzarella sticks and pickle fries. Okay. And then I was trying to say
at Chili's. You
could
have gone to go get that. Yeah.
They are in Eden, North Carolina. I don't know if they have a ton of fine dining options. And also, he didn't have any decent clothes. But pickle fries, I was trying to figure out. I was like, is this like fried pickle chips, which I love? But no, they were like spears that were fried. And I was like, that's a no for me, dog. That does not look good.
So wait, wait a minute. What was the first thing that you said? You thought they were what?
Like, when you order if you ever get fried pickles, like Frickles, they're like little pickle chips and they're fried.
What is that?
Oh, girl. Fried pickles?
I'm in Texas. Like, I don't know what that is that you're describing. I've never heard of that.
Okay. Fried pickles.
Chip.
Yeah. So they're fried pickles.
Okay.
And a restaurant we used to have here that closed they called them Frickles. So we love that's even cuter. Fried pickles are so good. If you ever go to a place where they have them, and they usually have some sort of like a comeback sauce ranch kind of a dip that goes with, they are so good. But if you ever see them on the menu, make sure to ask, are they chips or are they spears? Because the spears are not good because you take a bite and the whole thing falls apart. They're little tiny pickle chips and you, ooh.
I guess I got confused with the word chips.
Right. I'm just saying like a, what would go on a hamburger. Like
those kind. So there's the longer ones?
Yeah, they had would look like pickle fries. So they look like pickle spears that were fried.
Oh, I've never even seen that before.
I have seen it. And
that's what we have.
Little pickle chips. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got thrown off by chips and I started literally thinking it was a pickle flavored chip. I was like, what is she talking about? I know they do have those.
And I don't think that sounds good to me.
Me either.
Yeah. Okay. So she's telling him, she was like, yeah, I went wedding dress shopping with Tatum. And he goes, well, how did Tatum act? She apologized. And he says, she did apologize. And we had a real good day together. And we talked about some other stuff. And, I expect you to tell me the truth about everything. But there is something I haven't told you. My divorce is not final. He's like, huh? He says, you've been legally separated over a year. You got to file for divorce, right? And she goes, I know. I've just been so busy and I hadn't had the time and everything. And of course, she's not telling this it's harder than she thought, or it's not like smooth like her other divorces. He goes, well, hell, I'm going outside to smoke. So she's mozzarella sticks, pickled chips, and pickle spears and smoking. So he goes out. Yes.
I don't know what stage of laryngitis this boy has. But can someone please give a fucking cup of hot tea with extra honey? I am tired of that voice. What is it?
I mean, he's a 12 vape a day pack smoker. I don't know. He smokes a lot. He's always on that vape. And then he was out there with real cigarettes. He's both.
He's got to stop.
He's got a bad nicotine addiction.
Either lose the voice completely or have a throat lozenge, because I can't, it just bothers me. And usually people's voices don't bother me, but his is, because I'm constantly like, cough, clear your throat, do
right,
something.
Right.
Yeah, but that's just his voice. And I don't like the fact that he sounded kind of smart in this episode. I appreciate that.
Daniel's the same. When we see Daniel in his talking heads, he talks like this. Like he's had an all-nighter. But in regular life, he doesn't talk that way. They caught him when they got him to do this talking heads. They caught him on a bad day. Okay, so he goes outside and the talking head, he says, well, I feel betrayed and lied to. She says she can't trust me, but I don't know if I can trust her neither. And then he says, as he's storming around dramatically, he says, did you think a fucking goose was going to come down and grant you a divorce?
Oh, I thought he said Zeus.
He said goose, and I put the closed captions on just so I could, because I go, what did he say? Did he say goose? So then I put the closed captions on and he said goose.
What does that even mean? I literally thought he meant Zeus. I thought he said Zeus.
Now don't give him that much credit.
Don't give him that much credit.
Maybe he was trying to do like a stork and then he got confused and he said goose, but he said, do you think a goose is going to come down and grant you a divorce?
Whether it was a goose, a stork, a bluebird, a blue jay, a red cardinal, whatever fucking kind of bird, it wasn't going to grant her a divorce. That made zero sense.
Zero sense.
No.
So outside, he's like, well, she acts like she's all so fucking smart and she don't know you got to file for divorce. We're going to buy a house and this half fucking that, guys. I ain't no fucking slow leak.
Huh?
Slow leak. Okay. Ain't no fucking slow leak. I mean, you're either fucking real good at bullshit or you're stupid as hell. One of the two.
He had some points. Okay.
He had the point about the house.
And I was like, oh, when he said that, I was like, that makes sense. It also makes sense that he was like, she's just literally just been sitting on this divorce and doing nothing.
Right.
Like nothing at all. Like she has not filed for a divorce.
Yeah.
She's just been legally separated.
Right. And I think he's trying to say, well, you've now been separated 1 year. Like in Virginia, you have to be separated 1 year before you're allowed to. So maybe it's the same there because he's like, you've now been separated over a year. So why haven't you done it? Yeah.
She better get to doing it.
So he goes back to the table and goes, we got to get a fucking lawyer. I'm not buying a fucking house if it's half his. How you gonna? And he's like, it's half his. And my note is, how you gonna buy a house with no job, sir? Sir, you have no job.
He talked about the job thing again, but he still doesn't have a job.
No, he doesn't have a job.
But they did buy a house, and I saw pictures of the house.
Oh, well, then she must be divorced.
I guess they're divorced.
So she says, I'm sorry. And he goes, I'm not an idiot. Have you even thought about this? Have you even thought about the house? And she goes, no, I didn't. I didn't think about that. And he goes, you got to start thinking, girl. So that's what he did.
It's your imitations. Just again, that is why I fell in love with you, because of your imitations. And it's just, I get to be here with you when you're doing it. I just look at you. It's like, she's so good.
This is so bad. So in the talking head, she says, well, I'm worried, that me not getting that divorce could derail our relationship, and also if he finds out he's not Kaysen's father, that could be one more thing that could send him over the edge. Has he thought he's his child's father for 5 years? I'm confused.
No, he has not. He just all of a sudden looked at that little boy when he was opening up Christmas presents and said, you know what? He may look a little bit like me. He's got dark hair. He's got light eyes. He has not thought about all these years.
I definitely I don't think that kid is going to be his. Do you?
He looks very different from the other little boy.
Oh, see, I haven't noticed that. I felt like that maybe because they both kind of have a buzz cut. I thought they looked alike.
The other little boy is like blonde.
Yeah.
Light eyes, which she is. And it looks like the ex-husband was blonde.
Yeah, blonde.
And this kid's got like black hair and light eyes. Just like Joey.
Ex-husband looked a little like Cody Brown. He had that like crazy
Remember you
blonde.
said that with that. Yeah. And see, I thought they were dreads, and you're like, no, it's just curly hair like Cody. Yeah, see how we know about Cody Brown, even though we don't watch.
We don't even watch that show. So the talking head, he goes, I love Kimberly, but she been lying. I mean, we're all liars when it comes down to it, but it should stop now.
It should stop on both sides. Let's not forget that you were talking to your ex-girlfriend 2 episodes ago, and you were doing a whole bunch of fucking lying on your WhatsApp app. So yeah, simmer down there.
Been in prison a long time, but you sure know about a lot of messaging apps. Yeah, figure that out real quick.
I didn't even know that's what WhatsApp was. It's like you do secret conversations.
Yeah, because like because it like disappears and it's encoded and I only just do it
That's
because I
too
have like
hard.
anybody that's like international. It's very easy to talk to people
Okay.
internationally. They sometimes have like a WhatsApp phone number. Like our friend Tom that lives in London, before we went over there, he wanted to talk to us about our trip. And he was like, "You have to call me on WhatsApp." I was like, "Say, huh? How do I do that?"
Huh.
Hmm? Hmm?
Huh.
The world.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Melissa and Louie. He's in the car. He is telling us, he wants to be a trainer full time, but now
Mhm.
he's running late and the talking head, he says, our schedules conflict a lot, but I've got a great idea for a date night. And then he's telling us some more about training. He says he doesn't have a particular type of client that he likes to train, but most of his clients do seem to be women. And
Yeah.
sometimes people compare training to sex because you get hot and sweaty and you're touching people. But he
Okay, I
doesn't
tell you
see it
what.
like that. Yes.
I tell you what. I've had a couple of personal trainers,
Uh,
and the last goddamn thing I was thinking about was sex. I was thinking about punching those motherfuckers when we were done because I was so hot and sweaty, about to throw up. You are not thinking anything sexual with a trainer.
I don't know. Maybe
No.
if you're like a horny cougar type and you get a young guy trainer, maybe you are like Sonia Morgan, like, ooh, maybe you are like that. I don't know.
I
But
wasn't at all. No. Mm-mm. I hate trainers. I hated my trainers. I hated them doing the sessions and about an hour afterwards. And then, like, after that, I'm like, okay, I still love you, but
yeah, right.
nothing
Right.
sexual at all.
No.
No.
The only time I ever had a
But I have to
trainer was
say
a girl.
something.
Yeah.
I have to say this. I do understand something about Melissa from last episode. So,
Okay.
and it was what you just said that he said that I thought about it. So she was like, I don't get it. Why are we having pizza again? Blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
She's thinking we're working all these jobs. Why aren't we like seeing more from those incomes?
Hmm.
Whereas she doesn't realize, she has no idea that he's been saving all of this extra money that he's been
Right.
making to buy her a ring. So I understand a little bit more for frustration,
Yeah.
but I don't understand her insecurities because I'm just not insecure like that. But
Yeah.
she's like really insecure.
She is. Right.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. Okay. So then we see him training this really cute girl and somebody's videotaping. He's standing behind the girl to show her how to do the ropes or whatever. And so now this comes into play later.
Of
So now
course.
Melissa, speaking of pickles, Melissa is at work at a place called the Chubby Pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that? Did you know that that's the name of the place she worked? The Chubby Pickle?
I think we talked about that the last season that they were on. The name of it
That's
being the Chubby Pickle.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I wonder what the inspiration behind that was. Clearly pickles, but
Well, it
why?
sounds like a penis reference, don't you think?
Oh,
I mean, that's the
maybe.
first thing I thought of.
Well, I've never seen a chubby penis, so I
Chubby
don't know.
Pickle. I don't know.
A chubby. Now, my greedy ass was, of course, I went back to fucking pickle chips.
Mhm.
Because I'm
Freckles,
like,
fried
yeah,
pickles.
freckles. Yeah.
So her friend comes. I never wrote her name down, but she comes and she gets her a shot and a beer. I was like, "Is this the middle of the afternoon? What's going on in this town?"
And she came with all the black lipstick on.
That was a real goth look that she thought was going to work, and it did not.
And it did not at all. It was an
No.
epic fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she tells her friend, that, oh, yeah, I'm going to get off early because Louis taking me on a fun date. It's going to be great. And then friend goes, well, did you see the video he just posted? And it's that video of
Mm-mm-mm.
the girl with the ropes or whatever.
Right.
And in the talking head, she goes, I do get jealous. And, we saw that he had these issues with Rusu, the yoga instructor. And then, of course, she got jealous of the dance instructor. And she says,
Yes.
I wonder if I'll ever be the type of woman to not be jealous. So she says to her friend, she goes, I don't know why he has to do this. Like, there are other ways he can contribute financially. Like, there are other jobs he can. Well,
This is
that's
what
what
he
he,
wants to do.
that's what he wants to do. This is his passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on now. So now we see him in the car with his buddy Joe, and they're talking about the proposal and going down on the knee and the whole thing. And, they're going to go to this lighthouse. And the talking head Louie goes, I love her. She's loyal. She's independent. She's a go-getter. Like, I love everything about her. I've never had any doubt. I'm completely in love with her. So they go to this lighthouse. It's a beautiful day. They're all happy about it. And then we see him, and he writes we see him writing in the sand. Like, we don't know what it is, but we assume it's like, will you marry me or whatever.
I'm not doing that for anybody. I'm not getting a shovel and writing out letters in the sand. That's a
I'm not,
workout.
I am not going to the top of a lighthouse either. I've been to the top of a lighthouse, but I won't be doing it and then going outside. Nope.
Does it have an elevator, or do you really have to physically walk up the
No,
steps?
you have to walk. There's no elevator in a lighthouse. You walk up. And the one at Bald Head is 118 steps. This one looked higher.
Mm-mm.
Um,
No,
mm-mm,
absolutely not.
mm-mm.
No, because by that sixth step, I'm tired. Somebody
And
needs to carry me down.
yeah,
I'm sweaty and I'm hungry. No,
all of
not
it.
doing it. Yeah.
So the talking heads, like everything's going as planned. Where's Melissa? Is she running late? Is she not coming? But of course, that's
Right.
stupid because we see her drive up and he tells her
Looking
they're
hot.
looking great. And she was like,
Yes.
why'd you tell me to wear something special? Like I thought we were going on like a date. Like, where's the restaurant? you know, like Keisha and I have already established.
Yes.
We like to go to a restaurant on a
Yes, we
date.
do. And she looked good this whole episode.
She looked great. The last
Yeah,
couple
her
episodes, she's
body is
had on
hot.
tons of makeup, and she didn't have on so much makeup this episode, you know?
Yeah,
No, her
her
body's
body is
banging,
banging.
banging.
Yes, most definitely.
So, he tells her they're going to the top of the lighthouse. She's like, "What? Why didn't you tell me
Yeah.
to wear comfortable shoes? Like, this is crazy." He's like, "Quit
Yeah.
complaining. Be positive. Be positive." She's like, "Oh my god! Like, you plan these crazy things. You don't tell me. Now I'm in the wrong shoes, and I hate heights." And
And then the steps had like holes in them.
yeah,
Like her heels literally are gonna
she's had to just like
benefit
bounce
me
on the
bad.
ball of her foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in talking head, he's like, she's always finding something to bitch about. Just close your mouth and enjoy the show, which I'm sure he's like, I'm trying to propose. Just
Yeah.
so they get to the top and she hates it. And to which I say, I feel
I
you. I hate
get
it
it.
too.
Me too. Mhm.
Um, and the talking head, she is like, I hate heights. I hate
Mhm.
surprises. He likes to plan surprises. I really hate it.
Yeah.
She's a control freak. So,
She is.
um, okay, I just found the notes about Key Rock. And okay. Well, we'll circle back to that at the end. Okay. So they walk around the top and she's like, I've got to go outside now and go on this, thing. And a lot of the
Yeah.
one at Bald Head doesn't have that, but one that we went to when we went to St. Simon's in Georgia, there was one like that. And Tay and Finney went to the top and I was like, no, I'll stay down here with mom. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But Finney is super, super in life. She's very like bold and brave. And she's like of
Okay.
us, like she's the only one that's really athletic. And so anything like that, she's always like very adventurous.
Wow.
She got to the top of that lighthouse and she was like, nope. And because my mom and I were like at the bottom, like looking, we're going to see them come out on that little widow's walk around the top.
Right.
And we only saw Tay kind of poke a head out. And we're like, what happened? And Finney goes, I don't know. I got up there. I lost my nerve. I couldn't believe it. I had to get down. I had a full panic attack. I was like, yeah, it's really
I
high.
can believe that.
And then you go on that tiny little ledge. It just has like a little glass. And it's built in the 1800s or some shit,
Oh, no.
So, they're looking at the thing and she's like, I can't, you want me to, and she goes, okay. And she goes, I've seen it. Let's go. And he goes, what'd you see?
Right.
What'd you see? And she goes, I've seen the view. Now I'm ready to go down. There's the ocean. I've seen the view. He goes, well, did you see this? So, which means she's got to look down. And it does say, marry me, question mark in the sand with like a heart. And she's like, wait, what? And then he proposes. Now I'm thinking about how skinny that is on the outside. And you got a cameraman out there too.
That's too much. Like literally when you just said that,
your throat dropped.
Heat went up.
Yeah.
Heat went up. My cheeks got hot. That's some scary shit right there.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with him typing, will you marry me on a piece of paper?
Yeah.
And that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
The gesture is sweet, but that's a lot.
And she better have taken those shoes off on the way down. But he proposes with a beautiful ring. She's like, oh my God, like, yes, I'm so happy. And they kiss and they say, I love you. And she's like, I can't believe it. Oh my God. And then she was like, I just said 2-carat ring. I didn't even really know what that meant.
I know.
I was like, he could have got a smaller ring.
Yes. But you know what? That is something that women do.
Yeah.
Because they hear something and they're like, I want that too. You really don't know what it is. And he should have been like, motherfucker. He's like, wait till she takes that ring off. I'm going to go swipe it out with the smaller one. I mean, the rock is huge.
It's really big. And I have to tell you that I, in my mind, somehow always thought I wanted a 2-carat ring. I have
That's
no
a lot
idea.
of ring.
I don't know why. Like you're saying, somehow in my
I
mind,
hear it.
I
Yeah.
thought that's what you're supposed to have. But I remember when we talked to the jeweler, or Dave talked to the jeweler, was like, if you literally go 1.89 and not 2.01, to look at it, you can't tell the difference, but it's like a $5,000 difference.
That's
As long as it doesn't
ridiculous.
have that 2 in front of it. If it's a weird, it's
$5,000 difference.
if it's a weird number. So you can't
Yeah.
say it's a 2 carat ring. You can say it's a 1.875 ring. Then it's way
Wow.
less. So I remember Dave going like, I don't know if you're okay with that, but that's what we're going with. I was like,
you got to wrap your mind around this number right here. This 1.87.
it will not have a 2 in front of it. So, and it's fine. So she's like, can't believe it. Oh my God. So in the talking head, they're together and she's like, I love it. It's perfect. I can't believe this day has finally come. And he goes, you're always trying to control stuff. You're always trying to control stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you think I've been working this much for what? I have goals. I have financial goals. And she goes, now I'm not even worried about you training the girls. He's like, oh, well, that was quick, you know?
Money and a 2-carat ring will shut a bitch up real quick.
Real quick. And she goes, I don't even care about that now. He goes, really? All of a sudden you forgot about that. And so they talk about getting married. And she was like, yeah, he says we should get married in like a year. And he's like, yeah, he goes, we got to wait and see, because you might change after you got the ring. Like, you might become a real bitch or whatever. It was funny. So Shayla, okay. Shayla comes over. Now we're on to a different couple, because I completely fucked that up, guys. Let me just give you the end of the Key Rock thing. Basically, they're at a golf club. We see the pastor. Key Rock gets ready in the park bathroom. This is so funny that I knew I had it somewhere. And they're right when they're about to get married. That's when she goes, babe, I need a minute. There's something I didn't tell you. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
For me.
Here's the thing. You missed it, but I had forgotten about it.
I was like, I know there's more to this scene. I feel like them being at the altar was not in the previews. I felt like it was in the scene. All right. Zariah, and Troy. Okay.
Girl, there's been a lot of mess going on.
They tricked us. I did think it was Zariah's apartment, but it wasn't. It was her parents' house.
No, they did good. They fooled us.
Yeah, they fooled us, and that's hard. Yeah. Now, when you say there's mess going on, do you mean like in the real world, real time?
Ooh, yeah.
Tell me. I'm excited.
Oh my God. Her and Karen have been going at it on lives.
I did see that, but I didn't get the details. What was it? What happened?
I mean, it is dirty.
Really?
Like, Zariah told Karen, your mom should have swallowed you. I'm coming up there to beat your ass. All kinds of fucking threats. Karen's like spilling all of Zariah. She's like, you used to be a heroin addict. That's why your face looks like that. Then she starts talking about Zariah's son and how supposedly, and this gets a little bit murky, like her bio dad like did something, which I'm like, that doesn't make sense. They're saying some dad did something to her kid. And that's
so not the pastor dad, not Henry, but her bio dad, maybe.
But I'm like, she just met this guy though.
She met him a couple of years ago, it seems like.
And so Zariah's like, that's why none of your kids want to fuck with you. And Karen's like, the only kid that don't want to fuck with me is the one that's fucking you. My other kid is right here. My daughter's on her way to work. Like, they're like both threatening each other to beat the fuck out of each other. I'm like, look.
You're like, this is some Rob's mom and Tinny shit here.
Yeah. I mean, they got really, really nasty. And then they was said that Karen knows all this stuff because Troy had pillow talk with Yana, and Yana told Karen all this stuff. I'm like, well, when did this pillow talk happen?
Exactly.
Because that would mean that he had to have cheated on Zariah.
Yeah, like in the last year with Yana, huh? Yeah. Maybe Karen doesn't know what pillow talk means.
I mean, it is Karen, and she could have been like 15 gummies in before she said that right there. So, yeah, it's been for me to say something is nasty. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. It's bad. Yeah,
that doesn't sound good. Y'all, it's November, It's cozy weather. It's getting darker earlier, and I have a lot to be thankful for. You know what I'm really thankful for? I found a new product this year. It's Lumi. Where has Lumi been all my life? How did I live without it before I knew about it? And why am I so thankful for it? Because Lumi is a deodorant like no other. It was created by a female OBGYN who discovered BO isn't just an underarm thing, it's an all over thing. So she developed a pH optimized deodorant that's clinically proven to block odor everywhere, not just your pits, but your privates, your feet, and beyond. And the best part, no matter where you use it, Lumi is proven to keep working for up to 72 hours. If this amazing female doctor in 3 days of odor control isn't something to be thankful for, I don't know what is. And right now, there's a special offer. New customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. Use code PINKSHADE at lumedeodorant.com. That's LUMEDEODORANT.com. Lumi has formulated a new product to keep you smelling fresh and help you stay drier. It's Lumi's whole body deodorant plus sweat control. The same 72-hour odor control now with 72-hour sweat control. You guys, I've tried this. It's great. You can experience the same outrageously effective 72-hour odor control while keeping sweat under control. It's baking soda free, paraben free, and pH balanced for safe use below the belt. You can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like tangerine, lavender, or my favorite is toasted coconut. You guys, I love anything with coconut. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream 2 deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. So I recommend the Starter Pack. And as a special gift for our listeners, new customers also will get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code PINKSHADE. And if you combine the 15% off code with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code PINKSHADE for 15% off your first purchase at lumedeodorant.com. That's LUMEDEODORANT.com. And show your support when they ask where you found it and say, PINKSHADE sent me. Thanks. All right, so we open up with the video of the house fire. It turns out it was her parents' house. So she's telling the story about her dad calling her, like, get over here, we're having a fire. Her son Azael was there at the time. They had left him there after that dinner. She's so grateful, her parents are okay, Azael's okay, and whoever else lives with it. So many kids with the Z names, we don't know who lives there. So they drive up and she's like, oh, okay, well, from the outside, it doesn't look as bad as it did, like when it was on fire. But then they go around, they could see the back and the boarded up bedrooms and everything. And they're outside looking. And she was like, that is my brother's bedroom. Like, here's his mattress. Like, thank God he wasn't home.
Yeah. That's scary.
It's very scary. So in the talking head together, of course, she thinks that her psychic, Patrice, predicted this. And she says, so I'm worried Patrice is right about our relationship failing. And Troy looks around and he goes, this is the silliest shit ever. He said, I'm sitting right next to you.
Right. And you're talking about we're not going to make it because Patrice predicted.
Said some catastrophe was coming, which literally could mean the hurricane that happened 2 weeks later or something. I mean,
that is true.
It could mean anything. And so now Troy gets in the car with Dad because they're going to check on the event space for the Project Heal event. And Troy is hoping to get from this event to get the funding in order so they can, pay people and they can whatever. So he's talking
to themselves.
Pay themselves. And so have to move back into the fire-ridden home. And he's talking to the dad about the fire. And he says, it started accidentally because of an electrical situation. Okay. Okay. So,
some people online have been speculating about this.
That it was for insurance money? Well, I speculated about that last week when I thought it was their own place.
Yes.
And they didn't have any money and all of a sudden they had a fire that would get them a lot of money. Yeah.
Because how money just comes to Zaria.
Money comes to her.
It finds her. Yes.
It might be because of a fire.
Yeah, but it's coming to her. She doesn't have to work for it.
No. So Dad is showing Troy around the parking lot. He's like, here's where we're going to set up the grill and the bounce house, and they'll have tables set up for people to get information on Project Heal, and it's a community day that they're doing, whatever. So in the talking head, Zaria says, my mom hasn't really returned our calls since I told her, I've been going to the psychic or whatever. And, my mom thinks I'm with the devil now because of the psychic. And, my mom is going to think that because I went to the psychic, that's what caused the house fire.
And her mom's not thinking that at all.
That her
You're
mom
thinking that.
just had her house catch on fire. It's not
She's traumatized.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the talking head Troy says he does have days where he's tempted to get easy money on the streets. He's really struggling with it. And now they're in the church, and Dad says to Troy, give me a sermon. Give me an impromptu sermon about how your life experience can help the community.
Right.
So Troy tells us in May of 2021, his father died, and his last words to him were, "I'm giving up." And he says his dad was on kidney dialysis, and he went downhill really quickly. And him being in prison all the time was a cause of it, because it caused his stress, and he maybe didn't take care of himself. I don't know. He says he feels that he stressed his dad out, and that made his father die. Yeah. And he doesn't think that being a preacher is in his future, but he does believe he has a voice that can be heard and that people can relate to him. And he does think he could help people out of dark situations by, telling what happened to him.
Well, cussing out your mom on social media is not the way, because that's what you've been doing.
He's involved too, yelling at his mom. Okay. Yeah. So, Dad thinks that Troy is.
But this is Project Heal. This is part of Project Heal.
They're going to heal. Preacher, heal thyself. So,
right.
The grandma, her mom comes over, Jean-Jay comes over, and she's got a real cute hairdo. She didn't have it like stacked up Marge Simpson. She's had a little afro.
Out.
It was cute. And she's got style. Both of them
she
do.
Does. Yep. I think the dad dresses her.
Probably. Because they usually match, So she says, yeah, how's it going? She says, well, we've been working on getting this interim house that we're going to have to rent until our house, is put back together. And Zariah says, well, I'm looking forward to planning the wedding, and I'm hoping it's going to be in the next year. And Zariah says, we have to see like what we can afford, like how much you guys can help out. And Mom says, of course, we're going to help you out. And
wait a minute.
Okay.
These people have just lost their home. 24 to 48 hours ago. And you think this is the time for you to bring up your wedding to your prison husband, not just bring it up, but then ask your parents how much they're going to pay.
Right.
This bitch is really thrown off. She is touched. Okay. She is truly touched. Like, who thinks like that?
A lot
that
of
is
people.
Crazy, Mary Payne. Really?
Yeah.
That is the most selfish shit that I've heard in about 2 months.
So what can you do for me? What can back to me? Back to me. Yeah.
Even though your clothes smell like a little bit of house smoke, we're still going to discuss this wedding. That's fucked up.
I agree. So Zaria tells her, I'm thinking about having my biological dad walk me down the aisle, but have Dad marry us. And then she tells us when she was 3, her mother told her she'd been adopted. Her biological mom gave her up she'd had her at 16, gave her up at 16. And in the past year, she's developed a good relationship with her biological dad. And it's emotional. He just found out about her, and she just got to meet him a year ago. It's been a year ago.
Wow.
And the family has welcomed him with open arms. And we see some photos of the biological dad and Zaria together, which was real weird because they were in like bathing suits in a pool, which seemed a little sexual with your
brother. No. That was they blurred out the dad's picture. He doesn't want to be seen. The picture that we saw with the guy, that's her half brother.
With the swimming pool?
Yes, that's her half brother. Yeah.
Still a little strange. So Zaria tells her mom, I haven't talked to Dad about this, about my plans. The whole adoption thing is touchy, and I want to be sure I'm considerate of everyone's feelings. And she says she doesn't have a relationship with the biological mom. She did not want a relationship with her. And that I know somebody in that situation where in our 50s, this person found her biological parents, and the dad was thrilled about it and wanted to include her and everything. And then the mom wants nothing to do with it because, the mom is, probably in her 60s or 70s now and has a life with kids and a family and doesn't want her family and her kids to know that she gave up a child when she was a teenager or whatever.
That's sad.
It's sad, but you can understand the biological mom's side too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I
It's
did this.
touchy.
It's touchy.
Especially if you did a closed adoption, like
Yeah.
you're saying, this is it. This child is yours in every single way. I basically just birthed this child and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a closed adoption is
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
So
I have another friend who adopted a little boy, and it was an open adoption where she could communicate with the mom. And she said she
right.
did send pictures a lot. And then one time she sent pictures and then like they came back and there's no forwarding address. So she's like, if
What
she
the
reaches
fuck?
out to me, I'll be glad to whatever. But like I did my part and the woman disappeared, which is sad.
That's sad.
Anyway, guys, I'm sorry about this conversation. So mom, John Jay says, somebody just coming in my house. I'm sorry, guys. Mom says, we always welcomed the birth parents. Now, when she said that, it led me to believe all the kids are adopted as we had assumed.
And I saw something that said that all the kids are adopted. They weren't able to have, you're going to fall, to have their own kids.
Mm-hmm. She says, we always welcome the birth parents, and it's up to them what kind of relationship they want to have. And I'm grateful to the birth parents because I've said, you were all my babies and God gave you to me, and no one will take that away. You are our children, but we're grateful to the birth parents, which is in my mind, the exact way
to see it. Yeah.
Perfect way to see it and perfect way to be open. And,
Yeah.
So Zaria cries in her talking head and she says, to have my parents love me the way they do, it means the world because who knows what would have happened to me? Who knows where would I've been? And it's really hard. And people don't talk about adoption enough. You grow up and you think that you're not enough and your parents didn't want you. And I'm 32 and I still deal with it. And don't you remember on Love is Blind UK and Catherine kind of had that issue and people were like, oh, she should get over it. And we had listeners reach out and say, no, it's a real thing. And it's a kind of a movement in therapy and stuff with people that have been adopted and they're adults and they're working through it. And it seems like Zaria is kind of working through it.
So I'll say personally, Skylar's biological dad has not been around. Mm-hmm. And whereas I overcompensated for everything, and then even though she had James, who, legally adopted her when she turned 18, has been like the best dad for her, she still struggled with why didn't this person, and then she's got siblings and she talks to those siblings. And she's like, I had no idea how much she was struggling with it. She's like, I don't get why this person did this to me.
Why didn't they want to know me? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and he's like in the same town, he just didn't put forth any effort at all. And I mean, she's been in therapy for years because of it. And just this year, she has been like, okay, I get it. That doesn't matter. I've got this. So yeah, it is I don't understand it, but it is a real thing,
Of course.
And it's sad.
And you have to really think like, okay, so I was raised by a great family. I have great parents. I have great siblings. I've got a great aunts, uncles, whatever. But there's something in you still that's like, but why didn't they want me? And I think it's very hard to grasp like that's their problem. Obviously, they were having issues and they actually did the best thing for you. But it's still very hard. Probably, in your mind, you're like, but even though they did the best thing for me and I still have great life, it still is what, why?
It's still a thing. Yeah. I mean, I can remember her being 5 and she wrote a letter and she was just like, and I found it. And she's like, I don't understand why you don't want me. You had another little girl, but what about me? And I love you. And it just makes me so sad. And I'm just like, as a mom, that is just some things you just can't fix.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fix it, but you can't
and you want to fix it, so Zaria, you had me in this moment, and that's it.
Me too.
Is it. That's all I'm giving you. Yeah.
She said, I'm 32. I'm still dealing with it. And, I get it. And I bet, I wonder if her siblings deal with the same thing or,
True.
So, Zaria and her mom talk about growing up. And she was like, I always wondered why I was so light skinned and didn't look like my family. And the mom says, well, I have light skinned people on my side, but I understand why you thought that. And she said, people in school and everything would make fun of me, make fun of the way I looked because I didn't look like my family. Yeah. And I was glad to hear Troy explain about his background with his family, with,
Yes.
because we know about his mom, but about his dad,
Right.
and to explain about her, 'cause he's growing up with this guilt that he killed his dad because of the stress, and then
Yes.
she's growing
That's
up feeling like an
horrible.
outsider. It's just hard. It's hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
So the
Now
talking
back to
head
the wedding and how much your parents are gonna
and
pay
how
for
much
the
money you're gonna give me, even though your
Yes.
house just burned down.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
and the talking head mom says, Zaria, she's got to find her own way, and she's in God's hands, no matter if she goes to psychics or what. That's
Yeah.
just how we feel.
Yeah.
And mom tells her, like, I'm so proud of you, Zaria. You've come a long way, blah, blah, blah. The end. Okay. Now, this is what we got later this season on Life After Lockup, but it does appear there's an episode next week. So I don't know why they said this. They should have just said, coming up this season. But why are they saying later this season? Like, we're going to skip
I don't
3 weeks.
know.
It's weird.
I
But
don't
then
know.
again, it's
It's messed
episode
up.
45 of a season that's been going on
Exactly.
for 2 years. So I don't
Yeah.
know. So Daniel and Bianca are playing a game with her friend about like favorite sex positions or something dumb. And the talking head, she says, I feel like you don't even know where the C word is. And he says, I don't. It's like spaghetti down there.
What the fuck does that mean, Mary Payne? What does that mean? What is that? Well, I've never heard a vagina to be described like spaghetti.
I was like,
What?
it's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, someone needs to sit me down and really explain to me what that means.
That was
Well,
funny.
biologically, I don't understand it
I
at
don't know
all.
maybe he's just like, it's just a jumble of things down there that I don't know what to do with. Yeah. But I liked how he was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. I don't know what to do. I do just want to stick it in. At least he admits it.
Yeah, I'll never look at spaghetti the same again. I'll just think about Bianca.
Ew, whoa, and her
Spaghetti.
greasy spaghetti looking hair.
I know.
So the Bianca says to Daniel, Bianca says about Daniel, it doesn't seem like he's committed to me. And then we see her stand up and walk out and says, I don't want to film anymore, and storms out of whatever local cafe they were at. Okay, not a bar. Troy and Zaria go to this weed store. He's so excited. He's so excited. He's like, I'm gonna smoke all the weed with my baby. He's so excited.
It's exciting. It is an exciting place to be.
Um,
Wonderful.
and then there looks like there's some drama with Yana. And then Mama Karen is back, who seemingly is sitting next to baby Troy at the Project Heal event. And she says she's a psychopathic ass bitch in front of that little girl. I didn't like that, Mama Karen. Didn't like it. Now we see Mike and Justine celebrating Manhattan Barbie's first birthday. 6 of the kids are there. 6 of the 8, because Mason and Nova are not there.
Right.
And then we see Mike in the car saying, I don't know how this is going to play out. But then looks like he picks up his mom at the bus station. She's in the house. She touches Justine's pregnant belly and is like, oh no. So did mom not know before she came to visit that she's like 100 months pregnant?
Yes. So they said in one of the episodes that they've not shared it. Only they know and the kids know. That's it.
Okay. So the episode we saw, she was 3 months pregnant. No. The baby was 3 months old and she had just become pregnant. So she was like 1 month pregnant when the baby was 3 months old. And now we see she's hugely pregnant and the baby has just had its birthday. So that means it's 9 months later. So that would make sense. If the baby has its first birthday, then she's about to have the other baby.
Ugh, that's a lot.
Wow. We see a clip of her in the hospital. So I don't know if she actually had that baby and we just haven't seen it on social media.
Seen the baby.
They're real good about locking that shit down on social media. They are.
They are.
So Rob and Tinny are like in the bedroom and he goes, let's put the condoms away. And then she's telling some friends, it looks like a friend and or somebody. She says, it's scary to give birth as a Black woman in the hospital. And then we see he sits, these are all just quick clips, guys. They don't have to make sense. Then we see him sitting with his mom, his lunatic mom, who looks like she's at the junior league meeting, but actually is crazy. She yells and says, you disrespected me the whole fucking family. Why? Because they had a fist fight or because he's not giving her money or what? It's probably got to be about money.
Teeny's the one who disrespected you and your whole face. Yeah. Rob just tried to break it up.
So then we see Melissa's friend saying, and this of course is all fake because we know they're doing fine. Melissa says, is he selling drugs? And then we see him in a shitty neighborhood, which probably just means he had to go train a client at a shitty gym.
Yes.
Then we see Mama Donna. I know you're happy to see her.
Fucking Donna. I love my Donna.
We see Donna saying, I don't like you, which we also is not true because we've seen them being friends on social media.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Mm-hmm.
And then he and Melissa are talking, and he says, I want to be your fiance, but I'm just a felon. He's probably trying to look for a job or something. No, Louie, don't talk about yourself like that.
Oh, we love Louie.
We love Louie.
Yes, we do.
Then Kimberly tells Tatum the DNA test is back. And then we see Tatum doing the, oh my God face. I don't think that kid is his. I don't. But then Kimberly says to Joey's mom, do you think he's doing drugs again? And then we hear him saying, like, I can't take it no more, and driving off on his car. So if you think they just bought a house, then obviously he's not doing drugs again.
Although he looks like he's high on every single episode.
He does.
But yeah, they did just buy a house. They just came back from a cruise, and
wow,
they seem to be doing okay. Now, I don't know if they're married or not.
Okay. And maybe just she bought the house.
Know. Yeah. Possibly. Because he can't buy no house with no job. He probably has no credit either.
I know he can't get on the mortgage. So I think it's Key Rock's brother, I think, is talking and saying, like, she's just bullshitting you. What's your plan? So obviously they don't go through with the wedding, I think. And it's like, she's just bullshitting you with this, and she just doesn't want to marry you. What's your plan? Whatever. Then we see sirens, police cars, hospitals, ambulance, Justine, everybody. Kimberly's crying. And then that's it. But I mean, we're going to find out next week. I don't know why they acted like it was a mid-season teaser. So weird.
They really did. You know, Matt Sharp just be doing stuff sometimes, Mary Payne. He's like, let me fuck with them a little bit. Look, you know what? This is episode 5,000. And let me go ahead and just throw this little screener in here right there and keep them wondering. He just he plays us for pickles. That's what he does.
Plays us. We got 2 pickle references this episode. We got the chubby pickle, and we got Frickles, pickle chips, fried pickles.
Yes.
Fried pickles are good.
I might need to go have a pickle.
I'll be somewhere and not even remotely hungry. I've already decided when I get there, I'm going to get that salad that I like. But if they've got fried pickles, I can't resist it. I can't resist a fried pickle.
And so I don't eat ranch dressing.
That's weird.
I think it's disgusting.
That's weird.
However, I will dip a fried pickle in it.
Yeah.
But anything else, no. I can't stand
really?
it.
So you don't do you like mayonnaise?
Lightly put on there.
Yeah.
Lightly.
I'm the same. I like a light mayonnaise. But now, because I'm hanging out with Ingrid, I dip fries in mayonnaise because that's a very
no.
It's a Midwestern thing. And because she does it, she's Midwest. Now I've started doing it. It's really good. In
the words of Uba from The Real Housewives of New York, no. No, Mary Payne. That is Ingrid. You went down half a notch. The mayonnaise and the fries. You failed me a little bit, but I'm sure you'll make up for it.
Sorry, Ingrid.
Sorry.
You guys, sorry I messed up the notes, but I was on my girls' trip working while everybody else went on a waterfall walk. They went to look at waterfalls. I was like, I'll just be in the room working. But I wanted to get it done so I could enjoy the rest of the trip and not have to worry about it. But I was I had kind of shoestringed it together with the phone over here on a pillow and the thing and the iPad. And it's just not easy. I just didn't want to take this heavy computer. It's so heavy.
I get it. You did great.
Thanks, girl. I keep doing this because I got a headache right there. You know what I mean? Just that one spot. I can't.
I hate that.
Yeah. What's happening over on the Libra Lounge with Keisha? You guys, that's her podcast. It's everywhere you listen to your podcast.
Yes, a new episode just dropped.
Okay.
A couple of days ago. What did we talk about? We talked about Ron Murphy, Thousand Pound Sisters, Todd Chrisley.
Oh, what's happening with Todd? Is there something new?
Child, Todd got fired from his prison job for talking too much. I'm like, what the fuck did you think he was going to do? You literally have to put tape and a muzzle to keep that man. Of course he's going to talk.
What was his prison job? That is so funny.
It was something in the chaplain office. I can't even remember what it was, but it's
People
top
people would
secret.
come in to talk to the chaplain. He'd be like, "Girl, tell me your problems. What's going
I
on? What are you
mean,
here for?"
I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard of. Like, of course, that would be like me. I would get fired for talking too much.
Me
Like,
too.
that's
Me too.
just what we do. We can't help it. We talked about P. Diddy's sons trying to fight Ray J. And
Heard about that. That's crazy.
yeah, so it's a funny episode. Tune in, tune in. And if you
Tune
like
in.
the show, give us a 5-star review.
Guys, that's the best thing you can do for any podcast that you listen to.
Yes, it
If you
is.
like them, just give them a 5-star. And you can write a couple of sentences if you want. I don't
Mhm,
think they
mhm.
require it, but you can
No.
just leave the 5-star. And I would really like it too. So if you don't
Yes.
feel like I don't want to have to pay for Pink Shade Prime or I don't have the money
Mhm.
and I'd like to do something nice, hit that 5-star, write 3 nice
Yes.
sentences, and then go over to the Libra Lounge and do it. And if you have any other podcast you like, that's a
Do the
nice thing
same.
that you can do. It's a
Yes,
nice
it
thing you
is.
can do. Just
It is.
it is a
It means a
it is
lot.
if you're listening over here, like Apple, Spotify, whatever, it's free. It's a free podcast. And to pay us, you could give us a 5-star.
Agreed.
We
Thank you for
appreciate
that.
it. Yeah.
Love it.
I,
Yes.
I just told you how much I was working on my girls' trip. Yeah.
Mhm,
Not really.
mhm.
I just worked for like 2 hours, but I did work. I
But
did
you're in
work.
the middle of a vacation,
Yeah,
technically.
I was. It was really
Don't
fun.
stop for work.
The
Yes.
whole place is decorated for Christmas, but all the fall leaves were out. It was great. It
Oh.
was really great. We loved it. Everybody, tomorrow I'll be back with Kimberly to talk about before the 90 days. And on Thursday, I'll be here with Deanna Chang to talk about Pop and Bravo. We're going to talk about all the Housewives show. I didn't talk too much about them last week. I'm going to catch up on all my shows. We're going to talk about that, and we'll talk about whatever's happening in the pop culture world. And
Mm.
Deanna has a great podcast called How to Be Less Old. So I'm going to ask Deanna if she knew about the grenade.
Yeah,
She,
yeah. Is
she
she
tries.
how old is she? Is she in our age group?
She's like mid 40s.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah.
I think. I hope I didn't just age her, but I do think
Ooh, I ain't in it. I didn't say it, Deanna.
she's 40-ish. She's closer to your age than mine,
That's
I'll put it
old
that way.
enough. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And on How to Be Less Old, they break down some of the things that the youth are saying. So
Mm,
I wonder if she'll know about grenade.
she might. She
She
might.
might. I'll find out. And that's it, everybody. And I will see Keisha next week because we're not doing Love is Blind anymore. Not till February, but we'll be doing it in February. We'll be back. Okay,
Yep.
bye.
Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.